Welcome to the talk. We are going to talk about Vite today. The 2.0 release was 2 days ago, and this is next generation front-end tooling, and it's quite exciting. I will show, the idea of the talk is to show a little bit of the release notes and do some live coding together. So Vite has many interesting features and it's not that easy to describe. We are used to Webpack, that is a bundler for our code that takes care of processing, like taking care of Babel and transpiling if we use React and do all the CSS. And Vite, the main difference is that it doesn't use a bundler during development. So this, as a consequence, you have an instant server start that we can see together, and there is also like a really fast hot module reload. So the easiest way is to actually try it out to understand how it works. So we will go there. As I said, the announcement was 2 days ago of the 2.0 release. This was being developed for like the past 3 months. Was the rewrite that Evan Yu was working a lot in it. And let's check. This was let's see a comparison between Create React App and Vite React. So this is in Replit, and as you can see, the code on the right that is running Vite, it's already working now, like it has already loaded. And on the other side, the Create React app it just finished now installing the dependencies, and now is starting to go. So we're waiting for Create React app still, like that's using Webpack internally, and Vite already, like you can be already developing, doing changes, seeing the hot module reload and everything. Oh, still not there, almost. Okay, now it's there. So this is a massive change, and this is a really simple app. When the application is even bigger, to start to be a lot harder. Something that this instant feedback loop allows you to do is to actually get back to exploration as a way of developing. Like I have an example here. For example, like if I want to apply some CSS filters to this photograph, I can actually play with the handles and see in real time how it works. And if I have to wait 10 seconds, 20 seconds, like to get the feedback of what is going on, it's very hard to actually decide what I like and what is the best combination that I can use for this. With this, you can explore the space and decide what is best. And this is only possible if we can actually change the code and see the result instantly. It's the same, for example, like Tailwind in the main page, there is a very beautiful example where it's changing the props and you can see how it works, how it's changing as you change. And this is the kind of development experience that we should be aiming for. And Vite is key to allowing this kind of experience. So let's go back then to the announcement. There is a lot of new things in Vite. I think that to go there, first we should actually fire an application and see it running for ourselves to understand a little bit better. So let's actually grab console, and we can start very simple, just like we're going to say yarn create JS app. So this is going to use a template to create an application, and it's going to ask for a name. So let's use the normal. So this is going to be a big project, and we can select. There are several official templates. So there is support for Vue, React, Preact, Lead Element. Svelte is being worked out also. And let's say like we are going to use Vue. So let's go here. We can install all the dependencies. There is also a lot of effort in trying to make the project like small, like it's not going to install like half of npm to work. And let's open code. Let's see. So here we can see that we have like the package JSON is using Vite 2. And it also started because we are using the Vue template, the plugin for Vue. And all the code that is related to Vue is actually inside that plugin. So Vite is totally framework agnostic right now. This is one of the main differences with Vite 1 that still had some things related to Vue at that point. And if, like, let's go to the index.html. This Vite works by, like, the main entry point is the index.html. So from here, you can actually like link, you're going to load some scripts, CSS, but the index.html is like the entry point of your application. So we can actually, let's run it. So we can see it working. So if we run yarn dev, this is going to start the server. And actually, let's go to localhost 10. And here we have the application. And if we, let's go here. And we can change something, for example, like in the sources, the app, I go to Vite2, and this is going to hot reload as we save, like, and it should be really fast to do so. And what is interesting about the hot module reload, that because there is no bundling involved, Vite doesn't have to crawl the whole tree to at least like rebundle everything to give you the feedback. It's actually the server, it starts without doing anything. And when the browsers start to ask for the pages, it's going to resolve all the files and that you ask for, and is going to transform them. For example, like in this case, it's transforming this .view in something that can be consumed by the browser. And if there is other imports there, it's going to generate a dependency graph that it can actually traverse and know when it has to refresh. And not only for Vue files, but CSS is a first-class citizen. So it's also going to be like part of all the optimizations and the hot module reload and everything. So let's, this is working. Let's go back then. So this is what we were talking about, that the Vite is framework agnostic. There is a new plugin format, and this is quite interesting. It's inspired in another project called WMR. And actually, it's an extension of the Rollup plugin interface that is a quite stable interface and battle tested. And it's quite simple to develop plugins for it, like loaders for particular files. And almost all plugins for Rollup are going to be compatible with Vite. I'm maintaining this page that list all the official plugins, and actually you can see if they are compatible or not. Right now there is only one incompatible plugin, but there is an open PR to fix that and make it compatible. And you can see that all the official ones are compatible or they are covered. That means that there is equivalent functionality in Vite directly. So there is also community plugins that, I don't know, like this is a really common one that is also compatible. And there are others that you can check that they are listed here. It's not exactly the same API as Rollup. There are extension points that Vite has to be able to handle server-side rendering. That is another big feature that is experimental for the moment, but that Vite provides. And other points that has to do with how Vite serves the files. So we can actually try one. For example, like imagine that we want to, we want to load CSV files, like comma separated values file. Vite doesn't support this out of the box, but we can actually, let's do it. Like there are instructions here. So it says that you should add this dependency, and then you add it to the plugins in the Vite config.js file. And after that, you can use CSV in your project directly. So let's go to the file. So here we are in the server. Let's open another console. Okay, so we're here. And if we do yarn add, you see, so we're going to add this plugin. Then we can actually go to the code. Here, this is the Vite config.js file that right now it only has one plugin, that is the view plugin. We're going to import the DSV plugin, and we are just going to add it to the pipeline. And then we can, let's say that in our assets, we can create a new file. Let's call this data.csv. And this one, let's say like fruit count, apple 4, orange 3, 2. That's it. So we save it, and in our app.view, let's actually, we can import data from, and load the assets. CSV. Okay, so maybe we can show it here. So we show the data. And if we go to the page, so now we can see that we have an array with the parsed comma separated values that we had. And we can work with this, like if you want, I don't know, like a loader for YAM or support for other kind of things, like you can easily add it. And it's actually quite nice. Like let's close this now. If we go to, yeah, so this is the plugin that we just used, the DSV, in the official Rollup repo. And this is the documentation. And if we go to the source, we have only one file. It's a very simple plugin, and this is the full plugin. So the only thing that is doing is that it's using this library that's called this3 DSV to be able to parse CSV and TSV files. And what you do with a plugin is that you return an object that has the name of the plugin, and then you have several hooks. You can check the Rollup documentation for how this works. but basically, for example, like this transform hooks is going to be called for all the files. And this is using a pattern that is common in Rollup plugin, that it creates a filter with options that you have like include and exclude. So you can actually say, I don't only want to apply this plugin for these particular files, and this I don't want to apply it. Like you can use like patterns to be able to exclude folders or particular things. So the plugin is only checking that this file, this ID should be processed. In the ID, you're going to have like the path. And then it's going to check, depending on the extension, if it is CSV or if it is TSV, is going to use one of the two parsers that are available. And the plugin also has an option for processing the rows in case you want to transform it before getting them. And this you can configure it directly in when you create the plugin. And after that is returning, like this is the code. So it's doing an export default of that particular thing that is the array of rows. And this is why Vite can consume it later. Like this is a proper module and ES module. So this is the full plugin. If you have a parser for other types of files that you want to do, like you could copy these lines and that's it. Like it's only replacing that. So that's it. Let's go back. Then another of the big features that are in this release is Vite use internally ESBuild, and ESBuild is an amazing project. It's written in Go, and it's an extremely fast JavaScript bundler. And you can see in the main page there is a comparison between ESBuild and the other like common popular bundlers, and the difference is just amazing. So yeah, we can wait for this. So ESBuild is used in Vite to actually like support JSX, TypeScript. It's directly using in the dev server to transform the files. So this is also something else that give Vite, making it quite snappy. But also in this release in particular, the pre-bundling of dependencies is now powered by ESBuild. Before it was using Rollup, and now like the difference is it's just amazing, like from 28 seconds to 1 second of difference. And the pre-bundling of dependencies has to do with if you have something like Lodash or like a massive library like React Material, like if every time that you're going to open the server, you're going to load all the tree from that dependencies, even if Vite is extremely fast, you're going to have issues because of all the small files that it has to be processed. So to fight that, what Vite does is pre-bundle all the dependencies for you and directly give a view that only has like one bundle per dependency. So that's important also. Then there is first-class CSS support. This is what I was talking about, that CSS is also part of the dependency graph, and it allows like impressive optimizations, like tree shaking of CSS and like better bundling. And there is also experimental support for server-side rendering. We already said that is very exciting. It's also framework agnostic, so it's very interesting that frameworks like Vue, Svelte, React may actually collaborate in providing like better SSR support. And something that is important also is that Vite is ready for production now that we have a stable release. And the way that it works is that for when you bundle, like we can actually bundle. So let's stop the server. And if we run yarn build, it's actually going to bundle for production using Rollup. And it's also going to minify with broadly and everything. And you are going to have in the dist folder all the assets and like the proper bundler JS and CSS to be directly consumed. And by default, it's only targeting the modern browsers, like all the evergreen browsers. But if like to get to that extra 5% of browsers that you still have to support, there is a official plugin that's called Plugin Legacy that is going to use the model no model technique to load in that remaining 5% of legacy browsers a transpiled version that is going to be supported. So that was it from the release. Like this is like again, like as we saw, it was very easy to try it out. Like I recommend feeling it, like Evan said in one talk. Like you need to try it and see how it works. I wanted also to show that hot mode reload. It's say like in the main page that this is one of the most important things, that the hot mode reload, it stays fast regardless of the app size. And I wanted to show, if we see here, I have so I have the code for layout it, and let's start. This is an open source project that is using Vite. If we open it, so here, let's remove this. So we have the application, and this is already a complex application. It has, I don't know, like 60 components or 70 components, and this already, let's do a quick design. Sidebar, now we can put some content here. And so imagine if we have this and we go to the code and we are checking this part of the code, and here we have the HTML and the CSS, and we say, okay, let's actually change that, and we place the CSS above, and when we save it, it's actually like hot reload, both things. You didn't lose the state or anything, and it's instant. And I don't know, like let's say that we remove this particular button and we don't want that link there, and it's gone. We don't want the options. So you can really like code, and as I said before, like kind of like explore the design space, because you really have instant feedback. If I will be able to show with two monitors, you could have both things at the same time and actually see it instantly, like how it works. So that's it. You can even enable autosave with this kind of speed and see it as you type. Okay, so that's it. One important thing, there is the Twitter handle now, the Vite /ViteJS. So that is a good way to get info about the project, keep informed. And then there is a Discord chat server that is actually like really active also. So like you should join. And okay, so let's say that's it. Try it. That's the idea.